So I need to lose some weight, and one of the ways I'm doing that is to get a variety of applications on my smartphone to track things like diet and exercise. And today I'm meeting with one of those companies called Sensei. So who are you?
I'm Bob Schwarzberg. I'm the CEO and founder of Sensei. We build mobile applications originally focused around health and wellness, and have taken that same concept of personalized information and guidance, and obviously here at Intuit to talk about doing that around financial health. Background is I'm a cardiologist and have been involved in telemedicine and technology for 20-odd years, and we got together as a team and recognized that we needed to find a more scalable way to kind of democratize the idea of a personal coach, personal assistant, and maybe a personal financial advisor.
So that's interesting. So I need to lose some weight, and I've been playing with a lot of apps on the iPhone that track my mountain bike riding, and now we're starting to track calories and all sorts of fun things. How does your company fit into that whole sphere?
So we started with an application for weight loss, in part because when we started building applications, the iPhone hadn't been launched and most people didn't know what a mobile application was. So the people interested in losing weight have a much more liberal idea of what they're willing to try. So weight loss was where we started, and we also thought the approach in weight loss that was in the market to that point really left some gaps. And in that, it's the idea that it's good to track what you do. It helps people recognize that they're exercising less than they think and eating more than they think. The issue is that if you went to a dietitian for an evaluation, they would recommend more specifically what you should be eating. Because from a tactical perspective, you could eat 4 bags of potato chips a day and lose weight. You'd still end up needing me as a cardiologist. It's just not healthy. So how do we help you learn what's healthy? And information alone doesn't do it, because information is abounding, right? It's everywhere. I mean, if information alone did it, nobody'd be smoking in the United States. 20% still do. So what could we do to make a difference? And what we did is create a virtual dietitian where we try and create a program automatically for you that's a little bit healthier version of what you like and where you eat, and give you the flexibility to change that anywhere, anytime. And on top of that, the phone, which and we work on all the phones in the market, so it's not, because the iPhone, as great as it is still not quite pervasive enough to deal with this on a health basis. It's only a few % of the whole population. But among other things, for example, the phones, in addition to giving you that information, the phones launch on their own. The application triggers itself, so it wakes up just before your meals, for example, and reminds you. It'd say, "Hi, Bob, here's what lunch is today," so that it's not depending on my motivation or my memory to go and log in and kind of tell it, and there's no tasking. It's all there. It's simple, couple of clicks, and everything I'm supposed to know is right there in front of me.
You're one of the few companies I've interviewed that is making apps for almost all the cell phones, not just the smartphones. What are you noticing from that usage pattern by being on all the phones?
Well, the major reason most people focus on the iPhone and the BlackBerry, because as I said, we started this before applications. Most people were still just making phone calls, silly. But the idea that applications could really become something that, this anywhere, anytime capability of accessing things you want and having utility. And it's easy to build an application for the iPhone at the end of the day. You build one, it works on millions of phones. You build one application for Android, it works on millions of phones. But when you're in a space like health, and when you're in a space like Intuit, where you've got millions and millions of consumers that are a very broad and diverse population, you need to address all the phones. 70% of the market are described as feature phones. Yeah. It is hard to build for a feature phone because there is no standard. So to build an application requires multiple versions of the same application to make it work across all those phones. So it's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy to say, well, I don't need the other ones because those people won't use it anyway. Whereas 2 years ago, I heard that nobody would use any applications at all. Now it's only people on iPhones and BlackBerries. The statistics aren't there. 60% of people are using mobile web on any phone, which is usually not a great experience. They're still yearning for something. And now feature phone users are downloading applications in pretty significant numbers. And you know, from a, as they call it, a long tail perspective, you're talking about on AT&T and Verizon alone, over 130 million people. So, you know, and also remember, in our world, that's not an extra resource. We build it once, it works on all the phones. So the debate as to whether or not we should, you know, use the extra effort to build for this or for that, we've gotten beyond that. We're agnostic to the operating system.
Do you look the same on all phones, or do you customize your app for iPhone?
The client, what we download on each phone is capable of leveraging the capability of that handset. So it looks like a native application on the iPhone and a native application. Each phone works, you know, kind of, you know, what's the manifesto? Each according to his need and each according to his ability. Well, that's what the phones do. So it's not a lowest common denominator vanilla application. First of all, that wouldn't work because iPhone and Android people have expectations that are much greater than that. Yeah. So we're not into disappointing them. We want them to stay with it and get healthy, financially and every other way.
So tell me what your business looks like. How's adoption going? Give me some of the fundamentals of the company.
The business has gotten very interesting in 2010. I say that because in 2007 and 8, as we were building applications, we built more of our own applications. A lot of big companies would look at mobile and understand that it had some potential. And then in 2009, they started getting serious. In 2010, all of a sudden, everybody has a mobile team, budgets, you know, all of a sudden there's RFPs. That's literally a 2010 phenomenon. So as an enterprise solution, we're dealing with some of the biggest companies, and certainly in the healthcare space, and the biggest companies in the country.
Very cool. Why are you here at Intuit? Because Intuit's doing...
This is Intuit? No.
Yeah, well, Intuit's doing an entrepreneur day, meeting with 60 or 70 companies. But why are you here?
Well, there have been a whole host of industries and verticals outside of health that have started to approach us because of some of the capabilities of the platform. And I would say financial health is very much parallel to your medical health when you consider giving people guidance around, like, you know, imagine, you know, Mint on all the handsets and being able to interact with people and help advise them about, you know, how they're spending their money and what they're doing, and even simple things like in the tax where they just take pictures of your W-2 so you can submit. Well, you know, in our application, we have submitted a claim for a third-party health benefits company. You can take a picture of the receipt in the application, and it works on all the handsets. So I think there's lots of places in this connected services that they talk about is the future, part of the big future of Intuit, that I think we can help extend where and how they interact with their consumers.
Very cool. Well, nice getting a look at it. Where do I find it on my mobile phone?
At the iTunes store. Where else? You have an iPhone, right?
iPhone. But where would other phone users find you?
It depends. If some of the companies are distributing it themselves, but otherwise, from the consumer perspective, at Verizon's Get It Now, at AT&T Media Mall, which are all app stores like the iTunes store.
Okay. And are you on Twitter at all?
Tim is on Twitter. He's in charge of Twitter.
All right. Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.